Welcome to Bilingual Investing. Jay here with you guys today. Once again, bringing you guys a fresh off the press educational video. Today's theme is about centralization versus decentralization. I honestly believe this is going to be one of my best videos yet because, at the end of the day in society, it is all about, centralization on one part and decentralization on the other. Centralization is guided by power and greed, natural human behavior. And then you have decentralization where it's all about that freedom. So, we're going to dig in deep. We're going to discuss, analyze that, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. But, if you haven't done so already, make sure you guys, if you enjoy this type of educational content, like this video. It would, gladly help the channel. You would subscribe by clicking the button right here is easy. And then you click the notification bell to stay tuned for our fresh off the press educational videos just like this one. So, moving on. Today, we're going to talk about centralization versus decentralization, then trust and freedom. That's big. And then potential solutions, against the centralization. So, we're going to discuss those today. So, let's start off with centralization fuels individual power and greed. Humans having control over other humans goes back to the dawn of time. The truth is that most humans have the same or similar intrinsic behavior. That of the fact that throughout the full span of their lifetimes will most likely end up seeking power, which means influence and control over others. Again, this is usually, I'm not saying that every single human being out there, necessarily lives their life, and their purpose, their fulfillment is based just on this, but it's talking about in a general sense of things. And greed, which is becoming monetarily superior to those around them as well. Governments and central banks are centralized institutions obviously ran by humans. Humans no different than any other, which for the most part constantly seek greed and power, guys. It's important to note that centralization also exists in some crypto projects, mainly in centralized exchanges like, the FTX scandal that we had recently. FTX was centralized. You have OKB, Binance Coin. All these centralized exchanges are centralized projects. So, they exist, and when you do fundamental analysis to those projects, then you definitely have to keep in mind that they're centralized. So these projects provide easy adoption for most cryptocurrency users. So it's easy to use Binance, to use KuCoin, to use all these centralized exchanges. You just create your account, you get an address, you buy crypto, you send crypto, you receive crypto. It's pretty easy. So, adoption is easy, but then they're not anonymous. So they lack privacy. They control your funds for you. But then again, they can get hacked, therefore, your money being stolen away from you. And their service can also even go down at times, therefore restricting access to their platforms. I remember a couple of years ago, I was in a situation where I wanted to log into my exchange and I couldn't. One of those exchanges got hacked. So they restricted access while they controlled that situation. And you don't want to have your money stuck, in there, maybe hundreds or thousands of dollars, any money, that you can't have control over. So that's definitely, due to centralization. So here we have example of centralization. They control your funds. They're not anonymous. Hacks and money can be stolen. Server downtime. And, the one positive is easy adoption. So you see here's, let's say, for example, FTX with what happened. Here's their company right in the middle. And then, there was me, there was you, for example, any of their users around them, but they control, they have the power. They control the platform. They control your money per se. So, lately decentralization has never been more important in the cryptocurrency space. Now more than ever, after the FTX debacle in this current bear market, the relevance of such decentralization should come. Not such, but the relevance of decentralization should come to the forefront of cryptocurrency investors. Such decentralization does not have an easy learning curve or adoption process, but does provide you with full control of your funds, anonymity and privacy, low risks of hacks occurring, and servers always online 24/7. So as we said here, it's not easy to adopt. A lot of new investors, they just like centralized platforms is easy, make an account, just buy and sell, and that's it. But with time, decentralization like DeFi apps and things of that nature, it's going to get easier. But again, then their servers are online 24/7, no hacks. It's anonymous, and then you can control the part your funds. That's really the most important part of the decentralization, is your freedom and you controlling your assets, guys. As we can see with the image here, they're all interconnected, right? But it's not centralized. The power is essentially distributed within its users. So, moving on, trust and freedom, that it's just two major elements of life, and when it comes to, as we're going to discuss, finances or even relationships. So, let's get into it. Centralization has been a key factor in diminishing the trust that most investors have in the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. And that's a fact, as we've, seen lately. Trust is everything in life when it comes to human interactions, such as relationships and finances. Investing your hard-earned money should be no different, and I believe that decentralized commodities and or assets in our current centralized world should eventually positively outperform due to the lack of trust that people are having in centralized entities, institutions, and asset investments. It's just going to take time, because you could be like, Jay, but Bitcoin, people trust Bitcoin. It should be at a higher price. How come there's some centralized companies that are still, doing great, and things take time. This is a major shift. So usually it takes, half a decade, sometimes even multiple decades before, we fully see that shift and people truly and openly trust and understand, the new technology. So, for Bitcoin, it's going to take time, but I believe it's in the right track. So when it comes down to it, it's really a simple decision. Would you choose to trust in assets that are decentralized, tangible, and physical, like precious metals, and derived from math and code like Bitcoin? So let's actually just check an example of that here. We have gold. AppMex is just one of the online merchants where you can buy and sell gold from. They're not sponsoring this video. We don't do that. We don't sponsor any products. I'm just talking about based on personal experience. This is where I've gone to buy and sell, the gold or silver that I purchase. And it's a great platform in a sense that it allows you to buy and sell gold, right? So what do you prefer, to buy this physical gold and own it, and hold it with you? That's really the question. Just look at that physical gold. They also have, silver here. Just for an example, you come and then when you buy it, you receive it to your home. You own it. It's with you. You know what I mean? It's not something on a server online, in a centralized platform like FTX was. Or like in stocks, usually you use a brokerage, then they control the assets for you. But when you buy precious metals, you have them with you. And then obviously Bitcoin is decentralized. Here you see, it's an algorithm, it's math, it's code. You know what I mean? Like, do you prefer to trust in this, or would you prefer to trust in centralized assets controlled by power-hungry, greedy humans? Those are just the facts. So the answer should be easy. Do you want to be controlled by others in a centralized system, or actually be truly free in a decentralized world? Removing yourself away from the centralized system, becoming financially independent, and having self-custody of your assets, it's of utmost importance and should become your main responsibility to accomplish. Maintaining freedom should be everyone's priority. With freedom comes personal choices, personal decisions, financial prosperity, and free markets. We should depend on ourselves, be accountable for our actions, and be responsible for our own future. And in my personal opinion, the world needs to be free, guys. Centralization takes away, the freedom of people. Again, in my personal opinion, where decentralization gives it back to the people. So again, JOK, decentralization, centralization, all that's good and well. We can compare them. They have similarities, they have differences. Okay, but what are potential solutions? So as an answer against traditional finance or TradeFi and centralized finance, CFI, the decentralized finance, DeFi, cryptocurrency sector was created. Decentralized exchanges, DEXs, serve as a solution against centralized exchanges. And in our previous video, we talked more about, and showed examples of decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges. If you want to check that out, just go to our channel and you'll see our previous educational video. Let's see, can I just briefly show you guys? Let's see, yeah, right here. It would be this video. Cryptocurrency has been broken, and we actually dig into that. So that's something that you guys can definitely check out. So Hardware wallets have also risen as a solution against centralization via self-custody instead of having to fully depend on centralized wallet services. So again, in that video, we actually touched about it, but let's just give a refresher. Here we have, for example, we have Ledger and we have Trezor. Here it is. We have the Trezor model, the Ledger, they're hardware wallets. So you take your cryptocurrencies from centralized exchanges, you send them over to these type of wallets that you have with your 12 word, your keys. You have your keys, and they give you access to this device, and then you keep that with you instead of having to that's self custody. You know what I mean? So these are two options, hardware wallets, instead of centralized wallet services. So limiting your exposure, your dependence on the centralized system will become pivotal in the coming years. The solution is to become financially independent from the system. To obtain that financial freedom, that's everything, guys. It starts with becoming debt-free, starting side hustles, coming up with passive income opportunities, and creating cash flow via multiple streams of income. So let's just go over a couple. Some people like to have, side hustles like Uber Eats. Some people like just in spare time, let's go make that extra money. Other people decide to create their own e-commerce store, and automate those processes. Amazon FBA, where they have that income coming in every time something sells, and that's just an example. Then dividends. Dividend payment is the distribution of companies' profits to its shareholders. So some people invest in the stock market and they buy dividend yielding assets, and they put their money there, and then they get that passive income as well. So those are just a couple of brief examples, just to give you guys an idea of what I mean with side hustles and passive income, cash flow. I mean, there's many other ways, you know what I mean? But these are just a couple of examples to get those ideas running in your head. Guys, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to swing by our Twitter, click the follow button. We would gladly appreciate that. So, ownership of tangible investments in hard assets, the more decentralized, the better, such as certain commodities like precious metals, oil, and natural gas. It's, here we see what are common commodities: energy, natural gas, oil, precious metals, which we went over, with gold and silver, for example, and there's other ones. Some people, livestock, things of that nature, but you would just choose the easiest to get into, the one that you think that would provide you or protect your money in a better fashion. But, that's something to definitely keep in mind. Then we also have Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So again, we have Bitcoin here, as you guys know, 21 million supply here. It's limited, it's scarce. That won't go up, that won't change. So, the scarcity and its decentralization, provides the value that you would need to protect your money in a long-term fashion. It's volatile, things of that nature, has its cycles, but long-term, 5-10 year time frame, you'd be well off. So we also have real estate. This is an example. Some people buy homes to sell at a larger, when it appreciates in value, and then also people buy homes to rent them as well. So, there's multiple ways. You can either take advantage of the home appreciation and sell it, or you can rent it as passive income. And again, that this is not official financial advice in any way. The real estate market is not looking too nice due to the fact that the Fed has been, tightening, and the mortgage rates, interest rates are going up and things of that nature. So I'm not saying that you should go and do it right now. Again, this is all educational, just to create those ideas in your head of how you could create possibly that passive income or have those type of hard asset investments. Then we also have arts and paintings. Again, Masterworks, they're not sponsoring our channel by any way, shape, or form. I'm just talking about just general information where, like, okay, Jay, I want to be exposed to art, and I want to invest in fractional art pieces, for example, buy a 1%, 5%, 10%. This place, they allow you to do that, where you can expose yourself to the art asset class in a way. So, if you're interested, you could definitely look into that. Then we also have collectibles like cars, coins, baseball cards, just to name a few. So, some people like to collect, collectibles, obviously. You have sports up here, different sports, display cases, trading cards. Some people buy jerseys, baseballs, photos, and and things of that nature. That's for baseball. You press NBA. Let's actually see here. Then again, you have jerseys, basketballs, photos, and other collectibles. Those are things that some people buy, and as time passes, then it protects their money in a way. So that's something definitely to consider. Then on eBay, of course, a lot of people buy and sell baseball cards in the same way. Some people like coins. Some people, these are expensive, but there's cheaper options always, but they're collectibles. Maybe a coin that came out at a specific year. You want to hold it, and as time passes by, it becomes more valuable. Things of that nature. And then we even have vehicles, Again, these are more expensive options, but some people like to collect vehicles as well. So, the point of this video in an educational sense is that any, collectibles, people like to collect different things, but it's collectible arts, real estates, commodities, Bitcoin, all of these are hard assets in a way, that you can own, and they're tangible in that sense. So anything that can safeguard you, that you can yourself, own and not depend on another person or institution to dispute such ownership, will become pivotal in future uncertain times. Take action, be ready, become successful. I believe in you. I believe in you guys, and I know that you can definitely do it. Guys, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like this video. We would gladly appreciate it. We have a website. If you guys haven't seen it, it's right over here. There's a link in the description down below where you'll find great investment tools and resources, our social networks, anything that you would need for your cryptocurrency journey. Also, don't forget, guys, to subscribe to our social networks. This content is not official financial advice. It was created exclusively for educational purposes only. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button if you would choose to. If you enjoy this content, we would appreciate it. Click the notification bell to stay tuned for our brand new, fresh off the press videos. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Hope you guys have a good one.